so much time. We should be live now. So, yep, the clock is ticking. Hello, everybody. Come on in.
Good morning.
We see you out there in the hallway.
Howdy, howdy. If I yawn a bunch, forgive me.
No, it's okay. It's Sunday morning.
We're all like that.
Sunday morning at 9 o'clock as the day begins.
Start your morning with a little Beatles.
Ha.
Come on in, everyone. Good to see you. It's a Sunday Funnies for the 2nd of May. I had to think for a minute.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Tuesday, Star Wars Day. Yay.
Anyway, oh, right. That's right. May the 4th. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm sitting there going, wait, what? Star Wars Day? What are you talking about?
May the 4th.
One of the many missed opportunities that Disney Star Wars never takes advantage of.
Yeah.
They should always put their major releases out right on May the 4th.
Yep.
Yeah, they only started really doing, because it's like on May the 4th for a little bit, they had Star Wars days at the resorts.
Yeah.
But they never really took advantage of it until they couldn't do them anymore. And then it's like, oh, major releases, like merchandise releases, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Empyrean in the house. Good morning, Indie Vultures.
Good morning.
I waited all week for this.
Ha, yeah, me too.
I had a question mark in there. Empyrean. Nita's awake. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, Nita.
Howdy, howdy.
Yeah.
Mike Jimmy is awake. Afternoon, lovelies. He's been awake for a while.
Oh, that's true. Thank you.
He's over in Norway.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Mike Jimmy. That was my official notice from Chrome that we are live.
Oh, good.
I like that. Come on in, everybody. It is April and May. I'm still going to say April. It's May.
Right, yeah, it's May.
May the 2nd. It's May.
It's going to be May.
May the 2nd. One of these days, it'll be May.
Yeah.
Probably when it gets to be
June.
June.
It'll be July.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. I'm afraid you're right.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Come on in. Oh, sorry. Oh, I
think he's in Sweden, right? Yeah.
The Netherlands.
Yeah, it's Jake
Sorry,
that's
Mike,
in
Jimmy.
Norway.
Jake's in Norway. I keep saying Jake's in the Netherlands, so it works out.
Yeah.
You and Jake need to switch places, Mike.
Right. Yeah.
Mike does an awesome book called I want to say Tales from Sarah. Is that what it is?
Oh, no. Oh, it's Life on Korra.
Life on Korra.
Yeah,
Life
on Korra. Yeah.
Getting it all wrong. Sorry, Mike.
It's Sunday morning. We barely got out of bed. Yes, yes. He has Life on Korra that I think it's on either.
Thank you.
I think it's on either Kickstarter or Indiegogo right now. Right.
Yep.
It just look for Life on Korra. That's CORA. Yeah, and
CORA.
There we go.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah. Feel free to put a link in the
Sorry,
chat.
Mike.
Uh-huh.
Is that on Kickstarter or Indiegogo? I think it's Kickstarter, Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Come on, Mike.
Feel free to put a link in the chat.
On demand, Indiegogo right now.
There we go. There we go.
To save us all, here's Varian Grant.
Good morning.
Morning, Varian.
Good morning.
What's up, Varian?
Good morning.
Oh my goodness! I woke up.
Yeah, we just went through that.
Yeah, I had a rough night. So
I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah. Good morning, Roland, Nita, Daphne, and Nita in the chat. What's on?
Hey.
Mike, I see everyone. I am hearing.
Yeah, it's a good thing we didn't have to do too many shots last night.
Oh,
for Krista's campaign.
Yeah, thank goodness.
We need to do that for Revolt. It's been stagnant the last 4 or 5 days. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't.
Yeah, it's that plateau period.
Oh man, I hate
always
that period.
The worst.
Yeah. I think my kidney can take it.
We're gonna run a quick opening, then do quick introductions, and then get into the meat of the show.
Right.
Hang on, everybody.
It's mystery meat.
Here's the opening that always gets us copyright struck.
Oh no!
Even though it's free use music. Hello, everyone out there. This is the Sunday Funnies for the 2nd of May, 2021. I hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. We want to welcome all of our Indie Vote Radio listeners in, and everybody out there in the chat, on YouTube, on Facebook. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Mike Jimmy's talking about Life on Quora again. It's on IGG. We've launched the mailing list for Life on Quora number 4 earlier this week.
There you go. Yeah.
And there is the link in the chat. Nina says, I'm game. Let's do it.
Right.
Garrett says, good morning. Good morning, Garrett. Good morning to some of my...
just some. Just some, not all. We're going to have to toss a coin.
I'm sure he's talking about Roland. He hasn't been on here long enough to grow on people.
Right. Oh, okay.
That's what it is. Thanks for listening, everyone. I am your host, Randy Zimmerman. I have been a longtime alternative and independent comics creator, writer, producer, publisher. I am currently working on resurrecting Arrow Comics again for the direct market. With a set of titles due to come out in August. Very excited about that. Plus, right now, over on Indiegogo, we have the Indie Volt Revolt book, where we have 130 pages of black and white short stories that are a wide variety of genres and tales done by the wide variety of talent that are mostly featured here on Indie Volt on the podcast. So there's a lot of familiar names that even if you see their faces, you're not familiar with their work. That's a great way to get familiar with a lot of the folks here on Indie Volt is by backing that campaign. And that's over on Indiegogo, Indie Volt Revolt. I should have probably put the brand up here. There we are. Indie Volt Revolt. And Arrow Comics will be available shortly through Liberty Entertainment Distribution. That's www.ledg.us. And you need to get over there and sign up, especially if you're a retailer. Liberty is a unique and different type of distributor. They actually don't list books that they don't have already in stock. So when you order the books, you're only days away, as opposed to months or many months away from actually getting your title. Everybody says that they can't trust the independents, but you can trust Liberty. Everything that they have listed there is already in-house and available. Just needs to be put in a box and shipped to you.
Yeah, there's I got a case of books from someone. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Randy, but
you're fine. Go ahead.
I got a case of books from a gentleman. And he sent them to us, and I went to the warehouse to verify, and I opened them up, and I thought it was just a restock of his last title. Mm-hmm. It's his new book that hasn't even shipped to backers yet.
Exclusive, a Liberty exclusive.
And I'm like, whoa, we can't list this yet. And he's like, well, why not? And I'm like, because your backers don't have it. And he's like,
that's true.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But at least you actually have them in house now.
Yeah. But he was actually pretty happy that I did that, because he said, another company would have done that. Another company would have called me and told me, hey, they would have listed them and said, hey, they're available.
Right.
Yeah. It could have been a Liberty exclusive.
My distributors.
Yeah.
Whenever I do a campaign, my distributors are the last ones to get them because of that.
Yeah.
Backers come first.
Yeah. Varian, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Varian Grant. I am the founder of Indie Vote Media LLC, which means that I have to pay all the taxes and stuff.
Wow.
Everybody puts their hand in their pockets when I'm like, hey, Indie Vote needs money. They're like, I've been making comics since 2008, and I'm a comic book artist, publisher, writer, all kind of stuffer.
Media mogul.
Yeah, I try to be. I
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm doing the moguling right. Maybe more mongrelling. I'm a father, a husband, geek, reluctant taxpayer, all those things. And I'm happy to be here this morning. Thanks
for coming on.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Thanks for getting up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Our co-host this morning is Daphne Lage. Daphne, introduce yourself.
Good morning. Hello, my name is Daphne Lage, and I am a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and I am known for the funny animal fantasy Tall Tales, which is currently in its last days on Kickstarter. It's Tall Tales Thieves Quest, which starts the entire series from the beginning. So if this is your first time hearing about Tall Tales, this is the book you want to jump on now. It's the first 5 issues of the entire series, lovingly printed by our sponsor Mixum, just so you know. And I'm also the creator and artist and writer of my other fantasy series, the fantasy soap opera Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which is also going to be premiering on Kickstarter on Monday, issue 2. I just got this beautiful proof in yesterday, so wow, I'm as good as ready to go with the series. So so that's going to be premiering on Kickstarter on Monday too. So you can check out both my comics at eagleworks.com and talltalesonline.com. It's TIILS. And if you want to see videos as to how I make these comics, you can check me out on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lage art.
Whew.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Speaking of a lot going on, our special guest today is Roland Mann, who runs Silverline Comics. Actually remembered those names. So, Roland, introduce yourself.
Yep, that's me. I'm the chief cook and bottle washer at Silverline. Silverline's been around in 3 different iterations since the late 1980s. Started off as a packager with my then partner Stephen Butler, and we packaged comics for Caliber, for Adventure, for Eternity. Those of course, except not Caliber, those other 2 went on to be Malibu Comics. And then Malibu hired me, and Silverline kind of went away for a while, and I was the editor, which is where most people know me for, either that or for writing Cat and Mouse. And I edited at Malibu I did the Protectors line, or the Genesis line, which included Protectors, Dinosaurs for Hire, X-Mutants. And then I went on to edit about half of the Ultraverse titles, which a lot of folks remember. Then I became a Marvel editor when Marvel bought the company, and then I became unemployed when Marvel shut it down. And that's when Silverline 2.0 came around. And unfortunately, that was the wrong time to be starting a comic book business. That was in the late 90s, and the industry was in the dumpster, and I lost thousands of dollars, which my wife will always remind me of. And so I closed shop in 2001, started a second career as a teacher. I'm a university instructor now. That's what I do. And a few years ago, some of my friends said, the time is right. We have this thing called, print on demand now. You should start Silverline back. So after several months of twisting my arm, that's what they convinced me to do. And that's how Silverline 3.0 is back. And that's what keeps me busy, and that's what keeps me from sleeping at night.
Right, exactly.
It doesn't keep you up at night. It just keeps you busy, right?
Right. Yeah.
It keeps you.
Busy.
You can't be up all night if you're not sleeping.
No, that's right. Yeah. My wife, this time when I got ready to start it, she said, you can do this all on one condition. I said, what's that? She said, you can't lose money.
Right,
because I lost a lot of money in the late 90s. I mean, a lot of money. And she's like, she goes, you don't have to make money. She's like,
don't lose it.
Just don't lose it. Yeah.
Right,
she's like, we can't afford for you to be losing money on comic books. And I'm like, okay, I'm a teacher. She's like, yeah, whatever. Just
But it is amazing how print on demand really changed everything.
Yep.
Like even without crowdfunding, just the ability to be able to literally print, whenever you wanted without like any real minimums and having to commit to an inordinate amount of books. I mean, just really.
Yeah. I know when we did Arrow back in the late 90s, early 2000s, we were constantly rotating money. We were lucky
Yeah.
to be able to juggle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rob Peter to pay Paul.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
And,
and
it's, you had to get 3,000 copies of a
Yeah.
book that you're like,
yes.
I sold 600 copies through the distributor. I could probably sell another, couple hundred fairly easily, when it initially comes out to the local stores and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that still leaves you with, 1,800 comics. And you're like,
exactly.
What the heck am I going to do with all these?
Multiple issues.
Yeah.
Remember, it's not just 1,800 copies.
It's all behind the curtain. It's all behind the curtain.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, you run a Kickstarter and you get 112 backers, you print 112 books.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like just the fact that I can get a proof of a comic, of a file that I just finished, and the Kickstarter starts on Monday. And the fact that I was able to just get 2 copies and get everything the way I wanted is just like, I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have done that back in the day.
No.
Also joining us this morning is Mr. Russ Leach. Russ.
What's up, Russ?
Oh, yes.
How
How you doing? Good to see you again, Roland.
Good to see you, sir.
You never know who's going to show up on this show.
Yep. I'm awake.
Just like you never know where the conversation
That's kind of the criteria we require.
Wait, now, hold on now. For you,
Almost.
This is like an afternoon nap then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've just had my afternoon nap. That's why I'm awake now.
Everybody grinding.
Yes, of course. Russ, introduce yourself to the radio audience, please.
My name's Russ Leach. I turn up every now and then. I'm a comic book artist. I've been drawing comics in anger since 2010. Been in publishing for about 30, 40 years. And I've done some stuff for Doctor Who, bit for Marvel, some stuff for Cartoon Network. I'm now producing my own comics. My comic book at the moment is Only Death Can Save Us. That's out on in demand over on Indiegogo if you want to pick a copy up, or you can pick up a copy later on this year through Arrow Comics, where it's being serialized. So that's what I do at the moment. You can find me on Comic Book Black Belt on YouTube, or you can find me as Russ Leach at russleach.com, comicbookblackbelt.com, or either at onlydeathcansaveus.com.
And I have to tell you, Russ, you look so much meaner in your promotional photo.
Yeah, he does.
What photo did you find?
I don't know, whichever one they're using to promote your image. I'm like, that's not Russ.
Oh, the Catch the Crazies. They used it. Yeah, they got an image.
Way too mean to be Russ.
That was unfortunately, that was my Assassin's membership card.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it looked like a friggin' hitman or something.
You look like you look like every bad guy with that voice. It's like, yep.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna rob you, and then I'm gonna use it to build bombs.
Yeah. He's the guy.
Shouldn't say that. We're gonna get in trouble.
Right, yes.
The Algos are gonna catch us
he's
real
joking.
good.
Yes, he's joking.
Of course, only in some amazing, bizarre comic book world would I ever think of doing such a thing.
Yeah. I'm writing that comic book now.
Do it. Make it.
Only Russ can kill us.
In multiple ways. Yeah.
with his ninja skills.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
So do you actually have a black belt?
Yeah, I'm a third dan in Wateroo. Karate. Yeah. So
okay.
I know my way around a dojo.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
One of the guys I work with is a kung fu master.
Woo.
And that's what he's actually working on a book called Shadow Ghost, and it's his idea, right? He's promoted as a kung fu comic by a kung fu master.
There you go.
That's awesome. Something you find as you go up the belts. I've been a third dan for 7 or 8 years now. I've done other disciplines as well. I've done I've done Shotokan, but I also did Taekwondo, and I've been involved in other martial arts. And you do find that they kind of merge. The further up you go, the harder and the softer styles get closer and closer. And you find that particularly Wateroo is very similar to Kung Fu in a lot of ways, in the way that you move, in the way that you put yourself about. and it's you just find that all, because there's only so many ways that you can move the body in make the mechanics of anatomy work in order to apply a technique. And some people are more bendy and more pliable and stretchy and what have you, but at the end of the day there's physics involved and anatomy and biology, and they do get close. I think that original Okinawan karate was based on Chinese boxing anyway, so they all have very, very similar roots, if not the same root. So
I run just fast enough to get away from Russ.
yeah.
I'm Southern. I carry a shotgun.
Yeah, nice.
And you don't have to run. You don't have to run fast. You just have to run faster than the other guy.
Exactly.
I can't run fast. So
there ain't no move to cure a shotgun. I assure you.
It's what Roland's trying to say is his gun kata is strong.
Right,
that's right. I like that gun kata. Yeah,
Gun kata. Yeah. I like that.
I remember wanting to take taekwondo classes, and friends of mine were always, "Oh, well, taekwondo is just kicks. Taekwondo is just kicks," and they were very analytical of just all the martial arts on my friends. And we were all black kids, but we were engrossed by Asian culture for some reason. And like you would have thought we were Asian, because all we did was watch anime, eat Chinese food, and talk about martial arts. That's all we did. And we liked Asian girls too, which they were repulsed, by the way, because we just did not know how to approach them. But the thing was, like, we would analyze these styles, and I remember I want to take Taekwondo so badly, and they were like, "It's just kicks. It's just, there's no punching. There's nothing in Taekwondo. You can't punch anybody, and like you're gonna be weak up top." And another one of my friends, he actually started taking judo for about 5 weeks until he discovered, to his amazement, and this is his report, you have to be attacked first.
Yeah,
you can't. There's no, everything is a catch in judo. There's no offensive maneuvers.
Well, it's because it's more using people's momentum against them. It's
you do that in all the martial arts.
Yeah,
you're capable of doing that in all of them. It's the thing about I think judo is a sport. I think officially, taekwondo and karate and kung fu, they're martial arts, and taekwondo is just like other traditional hard martial arts. They have punches and attacks and blocks and all kinds of stuff. It's just that what you see in things like the Olympics is sport taekwondo. Yeah. That's not to say that those guys can't punch or girls or whatever. They're all capable, but that's not the way that you score points in sport taekwondo. And you have the same going on with karate. It's a little bit more difficult.
Wrestling is the same way. Sport wrestling is different than,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sport
no
karate
jumping off
is
the top rope.
Sport karate is a different.
No ropes to jump off of.
Yeah, exactly.
You apply yourself very differently to the way that you apply yourself to traditional karate, and there's still athleticism involved and discipline and huge knowledge and skill. It's just two different ways of applying. And so Varian's right. You look at taekwondo and it's like, well, people are just kicking, there's no punching. But I did taekwondo for 18 months, and I can tell you it was very similar to karate in a lot of the ways it applied itself. You just spent more time up in the air. There's a lot more jumps, and the karate that I practice now is a Korean influenced karate, and it has taekwondo within it. But I'm getting old now and quite stationary and gravitationally challenged, so my jumps are I don't jump as much anyway.
There are just some things that all the workouts in the world cannot overcome, and that's age disintegration.
That clock, you cannot stop that clock.
No. I can do that. I did the bottle cap challenge. I can do that kind of stuff, but I can't jump. or only
what
certain.
challenge did you say?
The one where you do a backspin and and hook kick and take the bottle cap off the top of the
Oh,
bottle.
I got you. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
So yeah, I could do that. But I was nowhere near as accurate as so many other people. I did take a few limbs with me on a few occasions.
Well, if it makes you feel better, Russ, I've never been able to do that. I can take the cap off a bottle by twisting it. I did that too many. I did that too many times last night for Lola's book. So, by the way, guys, Lola's funded.
Yes.
Oh, what up?
Yes.
Congratulations.
She funded. She funded last night. Yes.
She's very happy about that. So she may sleep in now. She doesn't have those nerves.
Now she can. Right now, it's just the final stretch of the campaign and just trying to build it up as much as possible.
I'm waiting for her greed to kick in, like more.
Well,
I can have more. I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. But I was gonna say that one of we do have another sponsor coming on.
Ooh.
And we're actually going to be we're going to be sponsored by Gemini.
Oh, finally!
Finally! I joked about it like a couple of weeks ago on our JD show, but sometimes when you joke about things, it actually happens.
So you're putting it out there.
Yeah, and it's funny because one of my other sponsors for Indie Vault said, "Hey, actually, it's a sponsor for another company that I own. We're like, hey, we make these things here, and could you talk about them on Indie Vault?" And I'm like, "Oh, I cannot do that because no." And it's when companies start making similar projects, you get put in this point where you're like,
right, I
serve the sponsor first. Like
exactly.
that wasn't your business. Your business isn't that. It's like if you grow tomatoes and all of a sudden you say, "Hey, we're making hamburgers now." I got Burger King as sponsor. I don't, but Burger King, we are available.
Right.
We're making hamburgers that you can put on your tomatoes, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they did. I mean, I guess what they did wasn't. I'll put it this way: a printer is now making shipping boxes.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
And I'm like, I just got Gemini, and I can't.
Right. Yeah. No. It's your responsibility is to your sponsors. So.
And I'm like, guys. So think about that when you're if you deal with sponsors at any point, guys. Even in the chat, keep in mind that you don't want 3 printers up there. Yeah. I've only in my time seen Coca-Cola and Pepsi sponsor an event together. It was a
oh, that's true, right? I never noticed that until you mentioned. That's true. You never see them together.
I seen it on one shirt. It was some charity for kids cancer, and I think they put down the hatchet because of that.
Right.
And I mean, they had so many different logos in the back. Bush, Miller, Budweiser, they were all there. But if it's another type of sponsor situation,
right,
you can't get those guys.
I mean, a charity makes more sense. Yeah,
right.
Charity makes more sense.
Charity, they can stop.
Right.
Mike Jimmy's print on demand is really making the whole investment a lot cheaper and less risky.
Yeah, definitely.
Joe, from the desk of a small press publisher, says, "Good morning. Good morning, Joe."
Morning, Joe.
Morning, all. Mike Jimmy says, "Only Russ can save us."
Well.
Seth says, "Hello, all. Hello, Seth. Hope you're doing well this morning." Says, "Get Russ an IV of coffee."
Well, it's lunchtime there.
COVID
so.
Kev.
Okay. Yeah.
Russ looks like he's going to take over Nakatomi Tower. Talking about his promotional picture, I'm sure. Nita says, "Damn, Varian, you stole my line." Whichever line that was. It was a while back, though. Martial science, yes. It's about footing, control your enemy's footing. Yeah, yes. Yeah. Wait, which iOS? Which is the one? Which is the one where you sweep the leg?
Wax on, wax off.
Sweep the leg, sweep it.
Yeah, I could do that.
Joe says Arrow Comics 4.0 presents Russ Leach, third Dan of Karate, the comic. So glad she's funded. Yes, Seth.
Yeah.
It's a good deal. Oh, cool. Congrats. It's always awesome when somebody gets funded.
That's right.
Get those sponsors. This is cool. New sponsor. Seth says, I know that what printer you're talking about too. I just got an email from them to try them, and their stickers up. Yeah. I use them for my books. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Mary Machine Gun says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning.
Howdy.
Morning.
Only Russ can kill us is the line.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Great minds think alike.
John Celestri says, good morning. Good morning, John. How are you?
Morning.
If you want to come in, John, just drop me a line on Facebook. I'll be more than happy to give you that link.
Well,
you're welcome to be part of the discussion.
Well, here's a question that kind of brings the whole martial arts thing to comics. So, knowing martial arts the way you do, does it influence the way you do fight scenes in your comics, or how you view fight scenes in other people's comics?
It's partially. Sometimes I'll look at somebody else's fight scene and I'll think, no, that doesn't work. But that's not always about the fact that I know how to punch someone or I know how to block. Sometimes it's just they're not following a panel progression. And it's like and also there's realism and then there's fun and action. So for instance, I do sort of some action sequences where I prescribe to the way that they used to do it in the Bronze Age, and there'd be people tipped up upside down facing you after they've been punched because it looks
that
great.
Explosion of bodies.
It looks great. Yeah, and eye contact is a good thing as well. So you can apply the real world to that, and it does help in certain cases for certain stories, but for the most part, no, I don't think it affects the way that I put things together. I mean, if somebody was to say, right, I've got this situation where I've got like this well-trained assassin and he's in a close and he's dealing, with 3 people, then okay, maybe some of the knowledge that I have could be put into that. But then just as important would be a good understanding of anatomy so that it didn't look like an octopus punching itself in the face.
Right.
Yeah.
So
we've got a couple different martial artists in with Silverline, and we had this conversation on one of our streams a couple weeks ago. And one of the things that we all laughed about is that it's funny whenever you see someone in martial arts and comics, they've always got the kick pose, right? Yeah, right. That and the Bruce Lee flying kick thing, right?
Yeah.
Whether they do that, whether that kind of martial arts would work for them or not, that's what they've all got. It's all the same, and it's kind of like, well, okay, but it's just like it's the comic booky thing, right?
That they're just certain tropes that we just expect, visual tropes that we expect.
I did.
Dean Zachary, who's one of them, says that his knowledge of it really affects the way he draws hands during a fight.
Mm-hmm. Especially after Marvel went through their kung fu craze in the 70s and 80s. They introduced so many just standardized or so many styles and figures, kicking, like you said, poses that everybody uses.
Right.
Yeah, because I know, like in movies, there's always this discussion about people who are just like way too pedantic about what appears in movies. Like it's kind of like, oh, well, that's not accurate and that's not accurate. I guess like for me, it would be like watching somebody in a movie use Photoshop and it's like I stroke out in the theater. Like, you don't know what Photoshop is. It's like when you're watching CSI and it's like, oh, enhance.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. My daughter was watching old episodes of Friends this morning, and there was one on there where Ross was looking at guys playing rugby, and they had all these guys kind of down in a scrum, and he had to go and get in the scrum, and one of them went, "Come over here, come and join the scrum." And it's like, no, that's not the way scrums work. Scrums don't work like that. That's called a ruck or a maul, and that happens in free play. You don't have scrums like that, and it just exactly that sort of realism here. I was like, what the hell's going on? But you've got to lose yourself and say, no, it's just a funny show. Forget it. Here's an example of something that the way that I posed the leg and the arms coming back is like a front kick. Okay, so that had the way that I posed the anatomy was definitely linked to my knowledge of front kicks when I drew the pose, but I wasn't thinking about karate. I wasn't thinking about martial arts. I was simply thinking he turned around and pushed out a front kick. Okay,
because Death is a martial artist, right?
No, he's not. Exactly, he's not a martial artist. He just knows how to kick people's ass. And so you see that the foot is slightly pointed and the toes are slightly back, although you can't see the toes, and the hip is tilted forward. And so that information about how I produce a front kick, it was in there and did go into the whole coming together of that panel. But I wasn't specifically thinking about how to fight as a martial artist when I did it. So I suppose the answer is any kind of experience is going to help you. And as we all know, you got to have a library of stuff up in your head when you're drawing comics. And so if you watch a lot of wrestling and you see the way people throw people about, then you're going to understand because of your experience, you're going to appreciate that. Or if you watch a lot of martial arts movies, you're going to put the flying kick in and some of the silly stuff, but for the most part you're going to understand the way that the thing is all put together, the choreography of it. So
I have a question for you, Russ. I have a question for you. Are the girls on that bus okay? I'm assuming. I'm assuming that's. No, you gotta bring it back up. You gotta bring it back up.
Oh no, hold on a second. It's just a shit. Keep no dead air. Keep singing.
I'm assuming.
Genuine Comics says greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
Genuine Comics. Genuine Comics. Mike. You just Google action pose and see all the classic ones.
Well, what's funny is like what I mean, because it's like this is also the thing about, they always talk about like write what you know, and a lot of people take that literally and say, oh, that you have to actually know something in order to, and that's not necessarily true, but also it's like you kind of have to understand what you're researching too, because like you look up Google and you look up action poses and you get all the flashy action poses, but in terms of putting those action poses in the context of a comic, you kind of have to know how those poses flow into each other, or else it's going to look like super awkward when it's in a comic.
But that's just your ability. That's your ability as a comic book artist. So storyteller. So if you look at someone like, I don't know, I'll just pick someone out of my list of people that I love, John Buscema. I just pick that name out, and if you look at the action that he produced, he wasn't a martial artist. He didn't do baseball or whatever it was, but he went and found reference that worked for what he needed, and he understood anatomy. So you can get over all kinds of things that you may or may not know if you understand things like anatomy and movement and weight. So
give me a thumbs up, Scott, if you're good to go.
The only reason I asked, by the way, if that's a girl's bus is because it's purple. But we had a bus.
It's funny. It's like, it didn't occur to me that it's like, wait a minute, it's not yellow.
But
wait a minute. But is there a reason why you didn't make the school bus yellow, or is it just an aesthetic?
I didn't want to make it a school bus. So I colored it a different color. And actually in the story, nobody's around. Most people have run away. Most people have evacuated at this point because the horde is running through the streets and they've all run off.
Well,
that would make it a church bus.
Yeah. There's a girls' school. Not that far from here, and they have a purple bus. It's called like New Trinity.
Do they really?
Yeah, and it's a purple bus, much like that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Rush just killed those girls.
But only the ones in the first, in the middle 3 seats.
Yeah.
they were all sort of, they had to go. They were in the way.
I can tell that's a UK bus. Though. Look at the fancy license plate. There's a door on the driver's side. Our bus drivers here in the States are screwed. They can't get out. They got to get out on the kid side. I'm telling you, man. But I love that bus. Now, did you use reference for that bus at all? Because I use a lot of reference.
Yeah, I used reference. Yeah,
I have so many Hot Wheels, and I buy these Hot Wheels in white.
Russ, did you what you said you did reference on that bus? Did you know that those actual stripes on a bus serve a real purpose?
Scott, I was just going to say that. That's the first bit of trivia that popped into my head. For our radio audience, we're now joined by Scott Rosema.
Hey, everybody. How we doing?
Good morning.
Hi, Randy. Hey, Varian. Hi, Roland. Hi, Russ.
What's
Hello,
up,
Daphne?
Hello.
I'm glad to see the Sunday morning is starting out just wonderful.
Yeah, actually pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, the bottom stripe on the bus is the floor of the interior of the bus. The second line is the seat.
Yeah.
Where the seat hits. The third line under the window is the top of the seat.
Oh, is there and what's the reasoning for that? Is it a safety issue?
If it ever gets into an accident, the emergency, like the EMTs or if you have to cut the bus open, they'll know where to cut to get to the.
Oh, wow, they're dotted lines. Interesting.
Well, I don't know if it'd be the dotted line. Treat it like a cereal box.
People here, right? Yeah.
No, they'll know about where everybody is if they have to get into it. So.
Tall kids.
I had no idea. I just thought that they try to make the school bus as cool as possible, but
all of those stripes mean something.
Flames and things.
So now you guys giving the complex when I'm drawing school buses. Like, yeah, these damn lines, right? Because otherwise,
right now, now you see. But that's the thing, though. That's the drawing. That's the drawing and creating what you know. Now that you know what those lines mean, you can't just frivolously plop them anywhere.
And knowing is half the battle.
Exactly.
Right.
We must have seen the same news spot or documentary that pointed that out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I never knew it.
I didn't. I was today years old.
And the tens of bus drivers who read comics are now upset at you, Varian.
Yeah,
you see, the same way I see people use Photoshop on CSI.
Scott, introduce yourself to the radio listeners.
Yes,
hey everybody. Scott Rosema, a longtime freelancer for all kinds of companies: Marvel, DC, Warner Brothers, Archie's, Valiant, TSR.
Everybody,
all kinds of places.
Arrow.
I've been polluting the comic book industry for as long as I can remember.
I have a question for you guys from Indievo Radio from last week. Randy can't see the question, so
no, I can't.
From Indievo Radio, but I can.
I can't see the questions or our radio numbers.
Yeah, I have to make sure. I have to give you all those programs so you can see.
What are we at?
So, right this morning, you're at 52,000.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. Thank you all.
And it is about deadlines.
Ooh.
Cool.
Deadlines.
I
can talk about deadlines.
My favorite.
Randy, you and I have got to have a conversation.
I'm bracing myself already. If you ever want to make anybody cry, it's talk about deadlines.
Yeah, and this one's from John. And John says, "How do you guys keep your deadlines?"
What?
It's like, how do we keep them? You're asking the wrong group.
I'm going to take notes on that. So nobody give the answer.
Don't sleep.
That's when the phrase "that's when you want it." When do you really need it? It comes in.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I mean wow. It's like. That you see,
Varian used to tell me that all the time when I was putting the newspaper together. And Varian, send me that 4-panel comic strip.
Randy,
I want it as soon as possible.
Randy is a hard taskmaster. He is editor in chief of Arrow Comics.
That's right.
And he wanted my book for 1st of May, which was a Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. Which was a Saturday. Wow. So I said to him, "Right, okay, well I can get you that for the 1st of May, but since it's a Saturday, would you rather that, I got it to you for the Monday morning?" And he went, "No, I'll have it on the 30th of April."
Friday's fine.
That's exactly what he got.
Yeah. What I didn't expect, though, is Russ went through and threw in all of these pinups and did an extra story in the back. well, if I had known he was putting that much into the book, I said, well, it could probably wait a few days. You need it till Mondays. You can breathe a little bit. Holy crap. You should see some of this artwork. I was looking through it when he sent the file, and I'm like, well, that's new. Well, that's new. Well, that's really new. Holy crap, that's awesome. Look at this.
I had my daughter doing flats last week while I was working.
There you go.
Wow, Russ, I'm sorry.
Everybody works. Everybody
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. You want to eat? You want to eat? Get on that Photoshop now.
No, but it's always good to have the end of the month as a deadline.
Yeah,
cut
yeah.
time, you know?
And it's like, I mean, joking aside, that needed to be done. It needs to be done.
Right.
If you're going to be in business, you've
Yeah.
got to make sure your clients get what you say they're going to do. You deliver on time and on brief, and on time is better than perfect. Make sure you hit the brief and get it out the door, because otherwise it's going to impact the next job that turns up.
Yep.
That was one of the biggest moving things for me, like with all those jobs I had with all those companies. I knew right away before I even started that it wasn't just whether I was going to hit the deadline, but if I don't, then everybody else is going to be put under pressure to hit it and miss a deadline, and I just wasn't going to let that happen.
I mean, it's like
different. Pardon me. It's different when I'm doing stuff just on my own, because it's either just me or, like with Arrow Comics, there's a deadline coming up for that, but there's nobody else beyond me that's going to be impacted except getting it into that book. So it becomes a little bit harder when you don't have the extra pressure. I don't know why. I wish I didn't need that kind of extra pressure, but sometimes that is necessary.
Well, a lot of times you do your best work under pressure.
Yeah, that's the reason why I scheduled so many Kickstarters for myself this year, because it gives me that pressure, because it's like there's an issue of Tall Tales that I've been dicking around on for like the past year, and it's like, oh wait, that Kickstarter is in July. I got to get this finished. Yeah. So now it's like, oh, now I have it in my head, get this book finally finished. I just have to finish inking it so I can letter it and get it done for that Kickstarter. Because when I worked at CPM, I had a friend who was doing a book, and he missed his deadline. Well, we had an overall deadline, but he didn't give me the space that I needed to ink his book. So he was penciling and I was inking. And he gave me his pencils literally the last weekend we had to give that book in on Monday. So I had to ink 32 pages in a weekend.
That's not right.
Ouch.
And I wanted to strangle him after. I said, do not do this to me again.
The other thing, Varian, is that when someone asks that, I'm like, the thing you have to ask yourself as a creator is how bad do you really want it? If you're like, I'm struggling with deadlines, okay, well then you don't really want it. You want to do something else, or you just want to call yourself that, And I'm not talking about when life gets in the way. I mean that's going to happen to everyone from time to time. But if you're constantly struggling with deadlines, then you probably really ought to be doing something else, because you don't really want to do it. I mean, my struggle has, I've never had struggled with deadlines. My struggle has been with, I don't have enough hours on my clock to get the things done that I want done. And so I always say, if you have a regular struggle with deadlines, then maybe you don't really want to do it. Maybe you're just doing it because you can, or, because it's something you think you should do or could do, or I don't know.
And a lot of the times having problems with deadlines is really more about having a problem with your organizational skills.
That would be being easily distracted
This brings an interesting question, because Roland, I want to ask you, since you say you've never really had a problem with deadlines, what would you say is what would you say are the best ways you use or do to meet the deadlines?
Have a wife.
Give us your
Wait, did you say have a wife?
Yeah, I did. Yes.
Only Daphne could have said that. The rest of us would have been in trouble.
There's a lot of
Oh,
truth to that.
There is a lot of truth
No,
to
there
it.
is a lot. That's why I'm saying, because it's like, okay, how many? Because it's like, yeah, it's like I do have a lot of trouble. That's why I have to force myself with these little social engineering tricks to keep me on deadline, because doing the work is not the only thing I have to schedule in.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, so I'm doing the laundry, I'm doing the cleaning, I have to go to the supermarket, I have to, I have to do all those other things. So, yeah, and a lot of the times, no offense, but a lot of guys tend to forget the part where they're saying, well, there's all this other work I'm not doing that allows me to meet my deadline.
A significant other to support you in your real world, in your real world environment.
I wouldn't
my wife does that.
I wouldn't use the word support. It's more like torture.
That's a whip.
But
come on.
I don't
If
remember
I don't
which
draw,
one of you said it.
If I don't draw, I don't eat.
Yeah.
And I will not let me eat.
I don't remember which one of you said it, but I think structure for me has always been key. I've always been a pretty regular. This is my time that I write. This is the time that I do these things, and for the most part, for the last 30 years, that's pretty much been my schedule. Is that I have my time set aside for me, that I work and that I write. And what I have found is that when things interrupt that time, that's when I have to struggle, making my deadlines. It's like, oh no, I really can't play games 3 nights a week during that time, because that's my time set aside to write. And when I don't get that time,
but in order to get to that time to write, is there? Do you have a certain mindset that you use, or a certain way of actually saying, all right, I'm going to go write, and you do it?
That's what you call a deadline.
Yeah. Well,
what is your personal technique of getting to that deadline?
Yeah. Well, I also say this, and I make a lot of writers mad, and I get it. And, the only thing I say is, okay, whatever. I don't believe in writer's block.
Thank you.
I think writer's block is writer's excuse.
Yep.
I've never met a carpenter that says, I've got carpenter's block today, and I just don't think I can carpent.
I can plumb today.
And so if you are treating whatever you're doing creatively as a job, as a profession, you need to treat it like a profession. You can't say, well, I don't feel like the muse hasn't struck me today, and I can't. I'm like, I'm sorry, that doesn't work.
Yeah. There was an article. There was an article that I recently read. It was in reference to exercise and doing sports, but it pretty much applied to everything. That they were talking about, that they did like actual research on trying to figure out which came first, the motivation or the action. And what they found is that motivation only follows action. So it's like you have to start doing the thing first before to build up to the motivation to push it through. Yeah. It's not the other way around. The muse doesn't come to you. The muse is waiting for you.
Right. Yeah. I like that. I like that. Yeah.
What works for me is I'll sit down at either the computer or the art desk, whatever task it is I have to do. And I tell myself, it's okay not to do it, but you can't do anything else. And you'll be surprised how quickly you start working. Because I can't watch TV. I can't play that video game.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to trick yourself to do things. Like you have to shut everything down, and it's like hyper focus. Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. I know that as a live example, I'm preparing this 10-page story of my character August for the new Arrow book. And Randy said about May 15th was when he was thinking to hit the deadline to get it done. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to give myself till May 1st. Now, I did that specifically in order to give myself cushion between the 1st and 15th. Now, I didn't get it done by the 1st, yesterday. So I'm going to have to now I'm shooting for the 15th. And now the pressure's really on to make sure that that gets done.
Yeah.
And it's little things like that. I mean, if a person knows it's going to take longer than they think it might,
Yeah.
because like with me, I've got like 20 different things going right now, so I have to I have to really carve out time as best I can. And if you think you're going to need extra time, then set a deadline early.
Yeah.
And shoot for that. If you don't do it, then you'll have a little extra time to play with it.
And also, don't confuse things that you have to do for the work as like for example, like we were just talking about, like doing research and whatnot. And okay, so it's like you have to do research for a particular thing that you have a deadline on. That's not an excuse to spend all day on the internet in the guise of research. I mean, I understand that rabbit holes are very easy, to go down, but that's something, but that's also something, it's managing your time and understanding like what, you need.
You're talking about a word which isn't very popular, and the word is discipline.
Oh, yeah.
The word is discipline.
I have a problem with that word too.
But it's, I don't
me and that word are not friends, but you know what? I do what I have to do.
I like that word. I like discipline, and I like responsibility. I think they're the two most important words you can apply to your career and your life. Plus love, obviously, but we won't get into all the gushy stuff. Sure. But discipline and responsibility. You have a responsibility to your clients, and you must have discipline in order to make sure you get up, you go to the desk, you go do the job.
Did you hear that, Daphne? We're going to talk about love later on.
And speaking of gushy stuff, we're currently joined by Mark Darden.
Hey, Mark.
Of Guano Guy. How are you?
Look at that. He's got that.
Good morning, guys.
Mark wanted to come on today for a specific reason. He has a book that we've been talking about the last couple of shows called Image Grand Design, right?
That is correct. You got it. And
introduce yourself first, Mark, and then go right into the project.
Okay. I'm Mark Darden, creator of The Guano Guy. It's a biannual book I put out for funsies. It's a real silly book, lots of humor. So that's what people mostly know me for, if they know me. And in addition to that, I'm one of the many people, like a 60-plus crew, that put together a dual set of books, Image Grand Design and Image Grand Disaster. And the first of those was available, and I've been talking about it. And I unfortunately was telling people the wrong link to go grab the awesome book that got made. So I wanted to come back on and apologize, because if you got excited, went and looked, and were like, what was this? I'm sorry, but I've got the right link today, made sure. So really, there's 300 plus pages of material. 320, and crazy great art from professionals to people who are tattoo artists who are doing, hopped in and did a comic, to people that were just figuring it out and helping each other. It's an amazing assortment of indie work. And all we're doing is raising money for the Hero Fund. So go grab the book and help the Hero Fund. That's Hero Initiative. Hero Initiative.
You're doing it for the Hero Initiative?
Hero Initiative.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely nothing for us. Just enjoy the book and give a donation to the Hero Initiative.
And we're currently scrolling that address along the bottom of the page. Plus, it's in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now this is a PDF file. That's how big?
It's a big PDF file.
It's a 1.35 gigabyte one, and then so make sure you got some room. I guess you could put it on your phone or tablet, but
you probably wouldn't need to leave or couldn't leave it up there for long.
How many pages is it?
320.
Well, there you go.
Well, now this first one, I'm sorry, this first one's 160 plus pages. That's Grand Design. And Grand Disaster is going to follow in a few weeks.
Grand Design is $5 for that PDF file. Only $5. And that goes to Hero Initiative.
100%.
But feel free to up your donation.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's also a wonderful guy, James Winslow Smith, who is doing freebie sketches for people that will get a copy and donate to the Here Initiative. Just show them that you donated. You can find him on Facebook, James Winslow Smith. Awesome guy. And he's doing amazing art for people as a total freebie bonus.
Now, are you doing this in conjunction with the image guys or the image itself?
No, this is all, and this is just a big.
This is pure
project,
copyright
big fan
infringement.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Giant fan project.
Yeah.
Can we get
Exactly.
can we get a close-up shot of that cover?
Mark has one. Mark, do you have your copy on you?
Oh, yeah. I suppose I could hold it now. Again,
You can't
So
get
this
that.
is-
You
this
can't
is
get that
my,
physical version.
yeah, this is copies that we made for people that were on the book.
Again, the
Raise that
beauty
note
of print
for-
on demand.
Raise it a
Yeah.
little bit higher. Raise it a little bit higher. There we go. All right.
Mhm.
Now, who is the? Well, yeah, everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Angela?
The
Is that it, Angela? Is that
Yeah.
who we're talking about? Oh,
That's Angela, right?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, put it back up. No. Turn it back around.
No, he wants to see
No,
the boobs and her epic abs. Come on.
Switch it back around. Oh.
So, yeah, I mean, there's the flip one.
Yeah.
So, disaster is coming. Disaster is the one that I
Mark,
still working on.
Mark.
And,
Mark, you're a very handsome guy, but put that book back up.
you want to look at the great work of? I mean, we got Savage Dragon here.
I want to
and,
see
you know,
I want to see the cover.
It's there. You know,
Killing me, Mark. You're just killing me here.
I mean, the humorous part is the Max seems to be like going into battle and like, oh wait, what's that?
Whoa.
There you
Boy,
are.
that's beautiful hair. Isn't that great hair? I love that red hair. That is excellent.
Shading. The
I love
shading.
red hair.
It took a lot of time to style that before battle.
And their shirts too.
Oh yeah,
What shirt? I didn't notice any shirt. I
Down
just,
here.
hair.
Image Grand Design and Image Grand Disaster shirts. I like the Grand Disaster one. That's
but
very
Image Grand Design and just an amazing piece that's already out. It was all just a bunch of fans getting together, doing working off of an outline that Ed Piscor came off of, and these guys totally did this just as a fun thing to do during last year.
Mhm.
And now they're just putting it out to the public that you can go read it, and just trying to help raise some money for the Hero Initiative. So that's awesome.
That is cool. That is very
And Mark, you're in there. What's your story in there?
I came on to the second half of the book. I've got something in design, but mostly it was disaster where I contributed a lot of writing and
Right.
lettering, and have been doing production work to put the final project together.
Cool.
excellent.
So yeah.
I really like the hairband feel of that disaster logo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tony Farrow. He's one of the artists that's in Disaster. He's a great artist. He's got a ton of work of his own at Rubber Wolf Comics. And we got this very cool graffiti style logo that he whipped up for us.
Oh, it looks like some of the '90s something like Striker and
Yeah, exactly.
How
yeah.
perfect for it to look kind of 90s.
Metallica and all that stuff. Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
If he's a fan of some of those old time album designers from the '60s and '70s, like
Oh yeah. like-
Rick Griffin and Mouse and Kelly and all those guys. That was just I love that stuff.
No, I was surprised to find out that the guy who played Horseshack on Welcome Back, Kotter, that's what he did. He did album design.
Really?
Yeah, he did album logo design.
Wow.
Oh, no
Yeah, and there was a famous one that he did too with
Did he
the
do that
Pegasus
before or
on it?
after? Did he do it before or after? Connor?
I think it was
Probably
after. It was
after,
after.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I always get really excited when I find out like these like actors and stuff turn out that they're illustrators and stuff.
Oh,
Like one of us.
Artists are artists,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
One of the odds and ends design jobs I had way back in the day was when not the company that took on Image, what was it? Millennium, was it? I think
Malibu.
Malibu, that's it. And they were doing
Oh.
rock and roll comics, and they had.
I did one of those.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you?
I did. Lita Ford.
Oh, I did the logo for him.
Oh, cool.
Theater Forge, yeah.
I didn't
And
know
other
that.
things. I mean, some of the logos I had to create from scratch. Other ones,
Did you see the documentary about the dude who ran Rock and Roll Comics?
no.
I forgot what it was called, but it is absolutely crazy. Go nuts.
Was that Hartso? Everett Hartso?
No,
I don't think
it
so,
was
no.
I have to look up that documentary because it turns out that the guy might have been murdered by the same guy who murdered Versace, and it was
No
like a
kidding.
whole thing. Yeah, so it's like,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
cool. I mean, great, cool. Yeah. Well,
I gotta
bizarre.
look up the
So rock and roll
the
comics
Yeah.
were different.
yes.
The rock and roll comics
Yeah.
were different from the Malibu comics.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
'cause-
just the thing we want to talk about on Sunday.
Yeah, because
Well,
the
actually
Malibu
it is,
comics
yes,
was called
it's,
Rocket Comics.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But no, I did. Some I did brand new. Some I had to redo because it didn't have any art files to go by.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
anyway, that's cool that you did the lead forward role.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
great.
it was fun. Got to have conversations with Lita, and then the highlight was signing autographs with Lita and Jim Ballant, who was the artist at San Diego.
Oh, Jim. Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So there's a picture on the internet floating around. There's me, Lita Ford, and Jim Ballant. Yeah,
No
this is when my hair was really long, so you won't recognize me.
I wouldn't know about that. I don't know about
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
So the
Hair.
Yeah. It used to be down to my bra strap.
Ha.
Oh, well, there's
Somebody-
something we're gonna. Let me write that down, bro.
Tell me. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just I guess like if you want to share the screen, it's called The Story of Rock and Roll Comics. And it's pretty much this is the guy who ran Rock and Roll Comics, and the documentary literally ends on because they don't know for sure. The guy who ran Rock and Roll Comics was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And they think it's by the same serial killer who took out Gianni Versace.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
No kidding.
So it's a crazy documentary. Yeah.
Well, I own some of those.
Uh-huh.
I think did Jimmy Palmiotti do some of those way back for this company? I mean,
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah,
Jim's done so much.
Yeah, I think he did way back in the day.
Oh yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, I remember reading somewhere that Jimmy credits his working with Joe Quesada with getting his career completely straightened out and on the right track, because Jimmy was just, I mean, he's a monster. He did tons of stuff.
Yeah.
But he was just floating from one thing to another, and settling in with Joe really helped give him real focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there you go. That sometimes that's what it takes to get that discipline.
Oh,
sometimes you have to force that discipline.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it's because it's like I find it easier to take like deadlines for other people more seriously than myself, which is why I had to schedule so many Kickstarters for me to hit this year, so that I force myself on track. Before, it used to be San Diego, that it's like every year, everything that we did for the entire year was for San Diego Comic-Con. And once we stopped going there, we needed, I still needed that goal to work towards.
Having set convention schedules, knowing that you're going to be on the materials and you've got things to get done before then. Yeah, that was a great way to create a productive atmosphere for yourself.
Right. Because especially if you have a tendency to see the same fans at every show, you want to have something new for them each time.
Right.
So so whatever it takes for you to, even if you don't have discipline or you're bad at it, whatever it takes for you to force it, just do what you need to do. I mean, it's learned behavior. Eventually you end up getting used to, okay, I have to schedule this and that, and I have to hit these targets.
Yeah.
one of the last questions we have here from Mindy Volt, and I'll read it. And you guys are probably going to shake your head at this one. This is even
The
more
deadline
so,
question was a good question.
even more so than usual. And says, all right, so where to start with this one? Okay, this one here is
Before you jump into that, Seth says Terry Cruez was a courtroom sketch artist for years.
Oh wow! Well, imagine having that as a little tight deadline within the structure of the courtroom. Wow, my God!
That's why those sketches are usually very loose. They have to be done like then.
Instantaneously.
Oh,
Yeah.
And it
sit there
stuns
and
me
just
whenever
draw.
I see the quality of the sketches. Yet
Yeah.
they were done fast. That's just amazing.
To become a police sketch artist isn't that hard. But the thing is, well, at least not here in Michigan. They actually don't. There's actually like I thought you'd have to go like to school and everything. No, what they require is knowing that you can draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember missing a call at 3 o'clock in the morning, rolling over saying, I'm not answering that. Woke up the next morning, it's like there's a voicemail for the police. Because I had done some work and they were like, you can draw. Could you come do a sketch? No.
3 o'clock in the morning?
3 o'clock. Well, yeah,
Well,
crime doesn't sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Crime,
Yeah.
That's
Crime
right.
never sleeps. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was for, but I know they wanted me to come and draw something, and I was like, or someone. I missed the call. I slept.
I mean, yeah, you would think that they would require a little bit more like, well, you really need to be accurate in your anatomical structures.
Yeah.
Sergeant Jones is on a tear, and the only thing that'll calm him down is a picture of Wolverine. Draw.
Yeah, exactly. No, for real.
You got 24 hours or I'll have your badge.
Yeah,
It's also a good way to trick Varian into coming in for questioning.
yeah.
Yeah,
Smart for
exactly.
you, Gary. Smart for you.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
no.
Yeah, no. While you're doing that,
I've
Dylan,
seen enough Law and Orders.
Just curious,
we're just wondering if where were you at Friday night?
yeah, no, we were over here having some coffee, but what were you doing Friday?
Yeah.
Fell for the old "we need a sketch" routine, did you?
Yeah.
We know you comic artists aren't wrapped too tight.
Pop says, "Is that Scott? You finally got him to come out." LOL. Sup, Paul? Hey, Pops.
Yeah, Pops. I knew you weren't going to be here, so I knew it was safe to come
Oh
in.
no.
Ouch.
Pops and Scott can't be in the same room together.
Yeah.
No. We got way too much history there. Way too much history.
So we got a message here.
If we would need a sketch artist probably
Oh
after, and
no.
then talk around the body outline thing and everything. Yeah.
We had a message here from Logan, which we just made Wolverine jokes, so it's how we got Logan here.
Logan's written in before.
He says, so here's the deal, guys. My local Comic-Con is a small event.
Okay.
Usually between 1,000 to 1,400 guests.
Okay. Yeah.
However, the convention organizer is a good friend of mine and was considering trying to manipulate and start a bit of drama to help people get money up and raised. Do you think this is a good idea? Yes or no? Why and why not? Listen, manufacturing drama is, I know it can work for certain people.
Very rock and roll.
Yeah.
Very.
But
What punk rock band doesn't hate some other punk rock band?
Yeah.
right?
Or rapper who's not get some other rapper?
Yeah.
There was an episode of Generation Hustle
Mhm.
with this Detroit rapper that actually hired actors to dress up as cops to arrest him in the middle of a concert so that he could get the notoriety out of that.
Oh.
And he ended up getting a record deal because of that stunt.
Mhm.
So
But he'd break free and get back for the encore.
right, yeah. They
Sure,
pretended he was in prison for a couple of days, and it was just the whole thing was completely made up. but but this was a series about con artists, so I don't know if that would
Yeah,
be.
I'm not a huge fan of that. I mean, I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the dynamics of that is obvious to people who are purely into promotions and trying to find some way to get more eyes on what you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I'm not a huge fan of just manufacturing something.
And do you really want your convention to be known as a place for drama?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Because
the
also
big
it depends on what kind of drama he's trying to stir up. I mean, is he trying to stir up like actual beef, like manufacture actual beef with people, or is he just saying, "Oh, I had a hardship and here's my GoFundMe," and because either way it's kind of fraudy.
Yeah.
So you should really.
I think there's a big risk that it could backfire on him.
Yeah.
I mean, all this stuff sounds good, but what if some of these things really do happen? What if it is real drama that's created from the fake drama, and then you're like, well, crap, I didn't mean for that to happen.
Or what can happen even in the exact opposite of that same spectrum? What if people show up in hopes of some kind of a drama and they get nothing?
Yeah.
Or what if they don't show up because you're known for drama?
Right, exactly. I mean,
there's very little upside to it. I mean, I think you're talking about setting up a situation that has far more downsides than any kind of upside.
I mean, this isn't wrestling, where you're making up, these storylines and whatnot. It's like
Pop says manufacturing drama. The hell you say?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like surprising, right?
And then just says boy calling wolf, crying wolf.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Pop knows about manufacturing drama because that last weekend he and I. Well, never mind.
Oh, look at you!
Pop says my reputation precedes me.
Drama.
Yeah, we would not recommend it. No. I know things are tough, and like sometimes and it's a grind, and building something up from scratch is a grind, but there are no shortcuts to it, and you really, the whole thing about like any news is good news. No, like any attention is good attention.
Any
and it's
publicity
like, no, it's
is
not.
good publicity.
It's like it's not because
really
you really don't want to be associated with certain things.
We just went through 4 years of that at the top of our government, and we saw what happened over that.
R. Kelly's never recovered from his publicity.
What?
R. Kelly's never recovered from his publicity.
No.
But he wasn't manufacturing that either. So.
Mike Jimmy says manufacturing drama. We got other artists for that.
Right. Yes. It's like, look, manufacturing drama and perpetrating an actual crime are two different things.
Well,
most of the time.
Marion, what was it about 7 months back? You had on what's his name? Big loudmouth rock and roll guy, or
Rosema?
Yeah, the other guy. Who was it? He was really loud and obnoxious. And what was his name?
I don't know. I don't know if it might be a good idea to mention anybody by name.
We don't want to call anybody out as loud as obnoxious. Dad, I'm sorry.
That's where I have my problems.
Was he only on here once?
Yeah, just the one time. And
we're not sure who you're talking about, but for Varian and I, we probably have 3 or 4 people that immediately come to mind.
Look at him trying to manufacture drama right live.
My job here is done.
It's like me. I'm thinking like, who's loud and obnoxious besides me? It's probably me.
There's plenty of people that are as loud and obnoxious. Just don't do it as well.
Mike Jimmy says, grab the popcorn.
That's right.
The Ninja says manufacturing is drama. Mental manipulation.
It's not a good idea.
For the person asking about that, I would say on the little more productive side of things, I would say just put together an interesting, good quality show, and let it build. Let it, get its own momentum. If you try and push it artificially, no.
There's no shortcuts. Sorry.
No,
There'd be a return to those words: responsibility and discipline. Pull your finger out, get on with it, and eventually it'll come to you. If you work hard enough, long enough, and well enough for a period of time, you will be rewarded. No
Oh,
matter
yeah. I mean,
what you do.
Yeah, you
No
will.
matter what you do.
you have to be willing to put in the legwork and the time. I mean,
Yeah.
there's sometimes,
Yeah,
With my show, I'm not worried about manufacturing anything. We just go out and have a fun party type show, and
yeah.
the word will get around, and more people will come in.
Yeah.
The more of a good
Oh,
time
yeah.
that you have.
But it'll take a bit for that reputation to get around.
Yeah.
And that can happen on a fairly quick time frame. If say, like whenever you go to a Flint comic show, you'll walk in, and the minute you walk in, there's something buzzing around. There's, Randy's on the mic, giving away something else over there, and hey, check out this part over there. And by the time anybody goes into that show and does their rounds and has a good time and then leaves, they're going to tell everybody else, "Oh, I had the greatest time." And
That's the idea. Yeah.
and that's how you build it, even within the span of one show during while it's happening.
Right.
But if you think ahead of time, you can light some kind of fuse and get all kinds of people in the door, or I said artificially. No, that's just you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, it's like, look, you're running a comic book convention. You don't have to take like the Tony Montana view on everything. I'd rather be feared than loved. Or was that Godfather? Either way, it doesn't matter. Either way,
It's a gangster.
that's not the attitude you should take with a comic book convention.
Oh no.
I think the largest influx in publicity that the show that I ran ever had is we had the news station come in right as we were opening. And right as we opened, they saw this huge crowd coming in and all of these strangely dressed people. And I hold our shows in farmers markets. So that's something that they, the first couple times we did it, we freaked everybody out. They did not expect the type of reaction that we ended up getting. And because the news program was there right as we opened, right at 9 o'clock, a little before, all of a sudden at noontime, when they showed the spot again, we were just inundated by people.
We
saw a definite wave come in right after that broadcast as people come in to see the show. So publicity is your best result. Drama is not.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Now, speaking of that, Randy, you think you're going to put out Flint Comics Con next year?
Maybe. It's looking good. Let's put it that way. I know the Saginaw show desperately wants us back up. They wanted us back up there again this year, but I told them flat out there was no way we were going to do it this year because there's no way that we have a show up in Saginaw at the SVRC Marketplace. They asked me to come up and put on a show because they were an opening market. And we were just bombarded by people at that show. We were literally shoulder to shoulder. The whole show.
Response.
I said, there's no way we're going to be able to hold any type of social distancing or to keep anything. But next year, I'm hoping that we'll be up at Flint and Saginaw again.
I think so.
We'll have to see.
Definitely 2022 is the year that it's like, okay, we're good. We're done.
Yeah, because those shows are so much fun. And it's like a little party atmosphere. Everybody comes in and looks at everybody's stuff. It's really good.
We're gonna see a little bit of that near the end of this year, but 2022 is gonna really.
That's when it's everything's gonna start exploding, and everyone is just like so desperate to get back into that.
Now, Daphne, and that's in your neck of the woods in New York, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you know if there are gonna be any shows near the end of the year in the fall?
I know that New York Comic Con is. I don't know how official they are. I know that they're toying around with an idea at the end of the year, probably around October. But it's going to be extremely limited, and already people are like jockeying for position for like tables and badges because everything is going to be like, I think, like less than half than what they usually. But it's not something I'm looking on getting. Like I said, 2022 is probably going to be the year where it's like, okay, I got my shots, I got everything going, it's like whatever,
And that's exactly what the wife told me when we were talking about doing a show this year. She said, "Who's going to go? Who's going to want to go?"
Yeah.
You say that, but I'm fortunate to be in Florida. We've been
you are.
I've been going back to shows since December.
Yeah.
Now I will say December, the show that I did in December was probably about half attendance of what it would normally is.
Yeah.
But I just did one. I just did one here a few weeks ago, and it was backed. I mean, it was shoulder to shoulder. People are dying to get out. I'm doing another one here in about 2 weeks, south of Tampa. So
I'm up here in Michigan, and we're currently there on television. They're running ads from the Florida Tourist Commission about
Yeah.
come and enjoy
Come on
Yeah.
the freedom. That's the
Right.
big
Well,
thing they're pushing. Come and
nothing.
enjoy the freedom of running along the beach.
Yeah.
Come and enjoy the freedom of doing this. And
Right.
I'm like, that's the meanest freaking commercial
Right.
that you
Well, it
can
is
show.
Florida. I mean, but the thing is,
It's
right.
effective. It'll be effective, but it's mean.
If
Yeah.
you can get
Yeah.
a large resort like Walt Disney World to open
Yeah.
and not be an epicenter this entire time, I mean, it's possible. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like there's no reason why everything, it's like, yeah, it's like you need to be committed to those rules,
Right.
those safety rules, granted,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like at the last show we did, like every vendor, and I don't know if they actually did because I didn't go check, but every vendor was supposed to have a little bottle of
No,
Sanitizer. Yeah.
hand sanitizer. I didn't
Yeah.
have mine right over there on the shelf
Yeah.
that I took
Yeah.
with me, but I put it in a box.
Right.
Every
And
vendor has
clean
hand sanitizer. Everybody's supposed to be masking up.
Right, and how,
you know,
how far? Actually, my favorite part is seeing the tables wide. So the tables themselves, like
Oh,
3
ours-
feet away
ours
from each
were-
other.
yeah,
Yeah.
ours
What I'm
ours
looking
were
forward to.
ours were side by side by side.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
Roland,
Oh yeah.
I got a question for you, Roland.
Uh-huh.
Since the attendance is pretty good there down in your way,
Uh-huh.
do you know if people are going there with their pocketbooks open and ready to spend?
Well, they did with me, so
Really?
I think the answer is yes.
It's kind of like that. I would think that they would be like, yeah, a lot of people lost their jobs and
Yeah.
things like that. That's part of the reality of it. But also, I think, I mean, because I know, like, realizing like in 2020 and even coming into 2021, it's like I didn't spend the usual amount of money that I
didn't go anywhere.
do.
Yeah.
Right. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it was surprising to see. It's like, wow, it's like when you're able to go out and about, you really do spend a lot of money.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I mean, and so it's like, I guess technically we had like a forced savings because of that.
Yeah.
Let's
And
hope. I
we
mean, I'm
can't-
ready
we
for.
can't
Yeah.
be the only ones like that. So
Well, that's the
That-
big thing with comic shops and the retailers.
Yeah.
The thing that was pointed out is it only takes 2 weeks to break a habit.
Yes.
right.
And so
Yeah.
now a lot of people are sitting back going, wow, do I really need that Wednesday rush?
Right.
That's something that Diamond is responsible really on
Mhm.
almost as much as the individual states
Oh yeah.
for
Oh,
crippling the industry
Oh
as
yeah.
by
a-
stopping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as a
You know?
matter of historical
Yeah.
course, Diamond has put all
Yeah.
kinds of wrenches
Oh.
in the works.
Oh,
yeah.
Especially if what I was buying wasn't very good anyway.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Then you
That's
shouldn't
true.
have
Yeah.
been buying it. Then you shouldn't have been buying it anyway.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But people have
Stop
habits.
supporting. Yeah, but
it is a
yeah,
habit.
drug
They have habits.
It's a drug habit.
What you've got
yeah.
now is because of bad
But
business,
Russ-
because of all kinds of stupidity, it's now been broken.
But
Yeah.
Russ, you don't understand.
Reinitiated with
I've
something
been
else.
buying Spider-Man for 25 years. I've got every single issue. I don't care how
You're
bad
the
it
one that
is.
finds
I don't care how bad it is.
That's what
I
happened.
can't break my run.
That's-
And for the record, Russ, I haven't bought Marvel and DC new Marvel
No.
DC books in 15 years. So
On the plus
neither.
side, though, on the plus side, though, having the restrictions and being shut down in order to, the 2 weeks to flatten the curve that lasted a year, it's made folks sit back and look at their collections and look at the stuff that they have and not just the collectability, but the entertainment value of the stuff that they've had.
Yeah.
So some retailers, the ones that kept back issues that are in, more open, are actually experiencing a huge influx right now on back issue sales, and slabbed sales, and like non-sports cards have literally boomed the last couple of months, especially some of the Marvel runs, solely because people are sitting there and looking at what they have and what they want.
I think crowdfunded books had a good year in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
too.
I mean, not to belittle what we had to go through to get to this point, but I mean, what I've accomplished in 2020 wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for what happened.
Right.
I mean, it's like I would have never have thought of doing this comic, of doing my comic in color, the whole thing, or just even doing it in general, if it wasn't for the fact that I had all of a sudden all this extra time on my hands.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a matter of having one of those, silver linings in a gray cloud attitude.
Yeah.
Is what you
I
really
mean,
gotta have.
look, just the fact what we're doing here now. This
Oh,
would
yeah.
not have happened if
Nope.
it wasn't for the fact that we were all forced online to function.
No,
Well,
I made my
true.
main client has literally just come back this last week, and I've got some concept work to do for them in July. So it's been over a year
Yeah.
since my clients just disappeared. I mean, they spoke to me a couple of times. They were very nice, but they had no work for me. So I had to go out and find some. That's the way it works.
I've seen an uptick in my freelancing just from people that say they haven't seen me in almost a year at the show, and can I get what is such and such drawing, and so I'm really quite busy. Not as good as when I do.
Yeah, I mean, I did my own book because it gave me the opportunity to do it, which which I felt was a success.
Yeah.
It then led me to Arrow Comics, but also because of that, I picked up another gig that I'm in the process of doing. So I'm now stacked. I can't, I can hardly take on any more work.
Okay, now hang on a second, everybody. I want to have Mark. Would you just shut the hell up for a little bit?
he's the observer. He's.
Oh, is that what he's? Oh, okay.
He's from the UN.
I think one of the social skills I learned is, you got to let other people have their spotlight. You can't just laud over people the whole time.
I wish you would learn that lesson right now because we're a little sick and tired of hearing it.
Mark is fun to convention with too.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, I missed us conventioning together, Roland. It was
me too.
Really good times.
Yeah.
Oh,
getting to do the panels.
Definitely, Seth. I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen because
it's going to be hard to get a table at any convention once things get rolling again. It's going to be competitive,
because they're going to start off small. Like I said, with New York Comic Con, they're like less than half capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So that's and so it's like we have to. So probably it's going to be at the end of 2022 when everything's kind of like back to normal.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, one of the other downsides of what we've gone through this last year is that we're probably going to have a few bodies on the side of the road from people that realize they really can't make this work anymore because they realized when they were not allowed to do these shows, then they literally had to move on to do something else, and they just won't have the gumption to get back up and do it again.
Yeah, it's going to be a transition. It's going to be a new transition period for everyone.
Hopefully there won't be a whole lot of that, but maybe some.
I don't know. It's like does anybody feel like going back to like live like because before this whole thing, right? Like I was up to here with conventions. I was like tired of being there. I was exhausted trying to fight everybody all the time to get them to buy my book. But now it's like I'm kind of wondering, it's like, like especially being a year, being on these shows and hanging out with you guys and kind of like coming out of my shell a bit, and like how I'm really wondering, like, do you feel like your attitudes at conventions is going to be different? Because I'm desperate to get back to a convention now.
Oh, I'm going to be.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to be an animal. I'm going to be a freaking animal because I can't wait to get back into that social setting. Because I'm a big hug guy from way back and a chatty Cathy of the highest order. I can't wait into an atmosphere like that. So it's just I can't wait to do it, and I'm just gonna
Varian sent me a question that he was talking about posting, but I've asked him to hold off until Tuesday to cover that. It had to do with the bug and the market in general. But I think we should handle that up on Tuesday. Okay. Right now, Mike Jimmy says I'd die for a con right now. Not going to see one until November. By the looks of it, that's figure speech. Yeah, I wouldn't have made this much progress in art and getting new comics out if it wasn't for the past year. Yeah,
there you go, Daphne, right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not sure about cons. I don't know. I do them occasionally. It sounds very arrogant, but I don't turn up to any of them unless I'm guested because it's not worth it.
Right.
If I
So
if I go
you
if I
still
go to the
have
big
that.
ones, if I go to the big ones and I sit in Artist Alley and you've
Yeah.
got like major names sitting next to me, people are going to go and ask them for work, not me, because they haven't got a clue who I am.
Come on, Russ.
And then-
Yeah.
We got some towns to paint red, and I got blood waiting. Come on.
Oh, the idea of doing a tour across the states with you I think that would end me, but it would be great fun.
No, that would be. Come on, we do
But
like the whole indie
smaller
folk
ones,
group.
the
You know,
smaller
whole
ones when they
tour.
pay for me
You
to
get a
turn
tour
up.
bus.
Yeah, a tour bus. Yeah,
You would have a
smaller ones-
Viking funeral with me, my friend. I guarantee.
yeah, yes.
Well,
Did you miss the part where I said I'm a teacher?
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Did you miss the part where we said we were all independent comic book artists?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I would absolutely love that. And I'm like,
yeah.
And you know, I'm not one of these guys that says, oh,
Never
you have
gonna
to
cover
bring
that.
your
That's
own
Reed Pop.
table.
They suck like that. Yeah, that's Reed Pop.
You
But
got to
see-
sell a lot of $5 books to buy.
A friend of
I tell-
mine.
I tell all the convention people and the even I'm invited.
Right.
He said so much was still in his blood. It may have been the first C2E2 or the second. When he got to a spot after parking like a mile away, and $1,000.
Good.
Which is just really my breath from the
Money off of his books. I'm kind of wondering, like, when it comes to conventioning, it's not just about your books.
Make your merchandise good enough that it doesn't matter what the brand or the IP is on it. People go, oh, that's really nice. Been to shows where I know other comic creators, and most of their stand has been badges and T-shirts and stuff, and that's where they make all their money. Now you might say,
Skull Comics. Anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
you might say, well, maybe their comics aren't good enough to sell, and that's why they're making all that money on the badges and stuff. I don't know. Different kinds of brands will sell different kinds of products as well.
Yeah.
So, for instance, the example I'm talking about, they had lots of little tiny badges with cute animals on them, and they made more money than I did that day, and I was just selling artwork and comics. So, you know, I think it depends on the market.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, certainly that approach works for a lot of comic book stores that knows they can't just sell comics to survive. So they'll invest in having Funkos or, you know, buttons or, you know, whatever. So yeah, that's certainly good. And at a convention, there's all kinds of things that a person can do to make the sales at their table go bigger than just being on a sale of one or two items. And that has a lot to do with how you handle your table space as much as the stuff you have to offer.
Yeah.
So, matter of fact, we should do a show sometime where I will bring out my secret weapon list of things that Susie and I have done to make good sales at tables for years and years at conventions.
Ooh.
And there's a lot to be said for how it's done and, you know, where it's done and all that. So I think it's definitely more than just selling your one book. But if that's all you have, you can still increase your sales by certain methods, modus operandi, so to speak.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Mark, that was Latin, in case you didn't catch that.
that's a $5 PDF, because I love that type of doing that type of research. You know, like seeing people's setups and their table setups and what works for them, and you know what they do and all the different things. And
Yeah. Definitely. Now I'm going to have to get going here in a little bit, but I just want everybody to know that I'm gonna go upstairs and fix lunch for me and Susie. And because of Daphne, I decided to turn over a new leaf about eating more healthy.
Just don't do a juice cleanse.
Oh no! But you know, I'm gonna.
Has everybody seen that video?
The one I played.
I'm gonna be having some kielbasa today.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to have a carrot. And I'm going to round it out with some zucchini.
Ah, I sense a theme.
My, that's a long one.
To clean my palate out, a little butternut squash. And rinse it down with a nice drink of lunch. That's for you, Daphne.
How long have you been saving those?
Yeah,
for just this occasion?
I liked it. Never mind. I'm just gonna.
Come on,
you're only digging the hole deeper.
I'll do a little reading.
Uncle Phil. Oh, what do you got there?
Yeah, it's just I just noticed that everything Scott brought up was, you know, phallic shaped. And,
Ooh, you just noticed that.
You just noticed? Yeah.
About healthy eating, Barry. There's nothing.
I just noticed that.
I love that.
Go to church once in a
It's
while
a good
with
thing
him.
you weren't on the show last night.
No.
Uh-oh. What did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to go to
Yeah.
YouTube for that one.
Krista was
Gotta-
sharing some
To,
things.
to tie that in with the chat, Bristolian Dave says, "Oh no, I've missed the Sunday funnies." All right, me babbers. Bristolian and Scott, we are archived over on the Indie Volt YouTube channel. You can hear most all of our previous podcasts, except the ones that we were really, really naughty in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And for that, you'll have to go over to the Roku channel, right?
Yep.
To catch those.
Right.
Roku, the Indie Volt TV over on Roku.
Okay. I'll have to check
But
that out.
they are archived
Okay.
there. So
We
there
will
was a
we will
show
have
last
a
night.
special show on Mr. Rosema's, juice cleanse.
Yes.
And trust me, it's going to be audio only. You don't want to see this.
Maybe you don't want to run audio only.
I don't know if that's going to make it any better.
Healthy eating with Mr. Rosema.
It's better to just do a video after the fact. Yeah.
He seems to be into eating only certain kinds of things, though. It's like the shape seems to be important to him.
Well, you gotta fit you gotta fit in where you can fit it in. I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
And remember, it's girth, not length.
and remember, everybody, we're TVMA DLSV.
Henceforth, butternut squash. You know what I'm talking about.
But I should maybe
go.
You should what?
I should maybe play it for Scott so he can understand what we're talking about.
Oh, the juice cleanse video.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second, and I will.
I'm sure it's free use. So.
Well, it's a TikTok, so it's just
it's a TikTok video. It's made up there for
is
everybody.
funny. It's funny.
Yeah, I will. I will play it for everyone. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a TikTok video the other day. I was shocked.
Wow.
That they actually sent you a TikTok video.
Did you one?
That you knew what a TikTok video was?
I was shocked at the content.
I'm shocked that somebody actually talked to you off the air.
That doesn't happen a lot.
Sound.
That's why I've got.
There's no sound. Okay, well, hold on 1 second now. I will fix it. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no.
She looks like a couple of miles of bad road.
There's a reason for it.
There's a reason for that. Yeah.
Okay. Gonna have to.
All right, give me a second. I will.
Seems like there's a certain something she should stop doing, right?
While you're calling that up, we'll say Tommy
yeah.
had nothing bad with back issues, but creator-owned thing for the win. I am all for independent creators over the corporate-owned comics.
Woohoo!
Love Kirby collections, but for new, it's indies all the way.
Here we go.
Yeah, right. There you go. That's
Breaking news here on Suburban Update. My best friend convinced me to do a juice cleanse and failed to inform me about what happens on the third day. Today was the third day. I experienced an anal birth in a public restroom. The holy blowout contained 87 cents worth of change, an entire package of juicy fruit gum, my ex-boyfriend, and 4 pairs of Barbie shoes I ate on a dare when I was 7 years old. I'm down 12 pounds. I feel violated, and I'm currently looking for a new best friend. I love your face. I can't feel mine. Back to you in the studio.
I love that. I love that. Only because I made that mistake once.
Mark's face. Mark's like, what did I just?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Why are people trying to give healthy living a bad name?
Oh, I know.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's
No zucchinis for that gal.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No juicing zucchinis, no juicing the butternut squash.
Oh.
You gotta eat them whole.
Well, now see, there you go,
That's what
Daphne.
she
Now
said.
you're starting a whole nother. I'm writing these down. I want you to know that there's illustrations at some point.
Of course.
They're going to haunt you. I swear to
Of
God, they're
course.
going to haunt you.
Yeah. That's the consequences of my actions.
Right now in the chat, Pops has listed a bunch of links, and he says he hopes he covered everything. I think you did, Pops.
Okay.
We still have that image grand design address running at the bottom of our screen.
It's a fun book.
Make sure you go over there and get that.
Best of luck with it, Mark. It looks fun.
Only
Yeah.
$5, and it
Help the
goes
Hero
to
Initiative. You
the
know?
Hero Initiative. Yes.
Yeah, if you love image fanfic and supporting a good cause.
Yeah, Heroes Initiative is awesome. Boy, they have really come through for a lot of people. It's great.
And Mark has a campaign he's starting up soon for Guano Guy, right?
Oh no, that's up already.
Is it?
Live.
Yeah,
Tell
that's
us about
live.
that.
That puppy's
In fact-
live.
Varian, don't you owe me something?
For what? I'm sorry. Yeah, you won. So yeah, do we I have to check and see if they back Guano Guy or not. I'll go check it out and see.
Don't
did
make
you
them come over there, Varian.
Yeah, did you
Yeah,
want-
exactly.
over
He
there?
did a Tony Montana.
Yeah. I have to check and see because
You know,
sometimes that
you don't know how far that imitation will go.
I delegate a lot of
Some things we take, you know. That's the way it goes.
I've been delegating a lot of stuff out, so I got to check and see if they've done it or not. They may not have done it because it'll show up in like one of 3 names. So I'll definitely.
I
go
like
get it.
that. I like that. That they. I don't know if they've done it. I
Yeah,
don't
they've done
know.
it. Well,
I
'cause
don't know if they've
Royal
done it.
they.
The
It'll be-
production team. I don't know if they've
It's
done
his
it.
way
or
of
not.
delegating authority. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be between. It'll
That's
be
the problem
between,
with them. You never know what they're up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta check and see because sometimes Crystal will do it.
Those
Um,
guys are pretty busy.
Yeah, Brandon will do it, and I'm like, well, who's done it? But if they haven't, then I'll definitely do it. Do you want it toward Grand Design or Guano Guy, or doesn't? Or should I? Yeah, that's I'll throw it back on you like that.
Oh,
No,
why,
go on.
why don't you
Always-
50-50 it
Always use
I
Guano.
could.
Yeah.
Always use Guano Guy. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
if
guys,
that
here comes
was-
the dreaded blue tape screen of death. We catch y'all later.
All right.
Oh, no.
Are you leaving?
Come on, I'm out of here.
Scott, you can't leave yet. You got to tell folks how they can find you.
Oh, wait a second. Okay. Sorry.
That is so old school. It's
I
like-
know.
it's like
I
not-
have no
you
idea
can't
how to
just
turn this
click
screen off.
stop
Just to hear
jam.
the tape.
I
Yeah.
just paste it over with tape. That's all I do.
Folks, how they can
You can-
find you, Scott. We'll
You
boot
can find me haunting my own Facebook page over there at Facebook/Scott Rosema. That's where you can usually find my form of madness. And if I'm not there, I'm usually out hanging out with Pops Van Sant, and we're just breaking all kinds of laws. So that, or maybe Roland will have us over. We'll have a Lita Ford reunion.
Woohoo!
I'm going to be taking Russ out.
They're
for,
going to grow a zucchini garden. We're going to do a juice cleanse.
I've got
together.
a huge crop coming, Daphne. Don't worry
Woo!
about that. Russ and I are going to have a weekend out, so gird your loins for that, my friend.
Yeah. When that happens, that the heavens will rupture.
shake the gates of heaven again. Yeah, there you go.
Well, Randy and I are going to be mowing flat the earth between Flint and Muskegon, so that's going to be
There we
fun.
go.
And Mark, keep Guana Guy going. I applaud your name. That's awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Someday soon, Scott, you'll have to come back here and have some chicken.
Oh yes, oh yes,
Oh,
definitely some more chicken.
Up there at the Frankenmuth.
Oh God, yes. Oh, chicken dinners like you wouldn't believe.
Winner, winner.
Winner,
I
yeah.
just hope they're nice and skinny and tall chicken was out there.
Oh.
All right, buddy.
Okay, catch you all later.
Scott, you take care.
Bye,
We'll see
my
you
sexy
soon.
voiced friend.
Get him off before we get sued. Quick.
Getting him off is not the
Or
expression you want to use. We are TVMA, DLSV. Mark Darden, tell folks how they can find you.
Oh, Mark Darden on Facebook.com. You know the Facebook. You can find me there at Mark Darden, or if you just want to follow the Guano Guy, he's got his own Facebook page, so follow that. And the Guano Guy #4 Kickstarter is going right now. We got 8 issues despite being on #4, so figure that one out.
That's good though. That's good. You're way
Yeah.
ahead of yourself.
Oh, no, he's got issue
No.
1/2, issue 0,
Yeah.
issue
Oh.
3/4.
Yeah.
And it's almost 250 pages of material in those 8 issues.
That's congrats,
none of the
man.
numbers make sense.
Yeah.
Soon you'll have to do a Guano Guy omnibus.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Gobs of guano.
Gobs
Yeah.
of guano.
We'll send a bag of guano right to your house. Get on the Kickstarter.
Hey, it's
There
a
you
very
go.
potent fertilizer. So
And you can
Although
you
actually
might
move
be
that
FBI
guano
at your
through the
house.
mail. Yeah,
Wait a minute.
legally. Yeah.
maybe not. Maybe not.
Oh, good. Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube as Comic Book Black Belt. You can find me at my websites, russleach.com or comicbookblackbelt.com. You can find out about my book, Only Death Can Save Us, onlydeathcansavus.com. There is a link there. You can still grab yourself an original copy before Arrow take it to the direct market later on in the year. And you can get me on the Twitter and the Facebook and all that kind of silly stuff. Social medias, I'm everywhere. Just come find me.
And that'll be beginning in August. We'll be doing Only Death Can Save Us on a bi-monthly basis, starting in August. So that'll be available for all of the direct market to catch as they please. Roland, caught you with your back turned.
Yeah, I was trying to see how close my copy of Only Death Can Save Us is.
By sniffing for it.
Yeah.
Follow the smell. That's the smell of quality, ladies and gentlemen. The smell of quality.
You can find me with Silverline Comics all over the place on all the social medias. Our website is silverlinecomics.com. You can find me, Roland Mann, at on all the social medias as well. I think I'm Roland Mann, except for on Twitter, and I am Man Roland. So come look me up. Making lots of fun comic books.
And does Silverline currently have a campaign running?
In about I can't do math. May 13th. May 13th is when our next one is running.
And what'll that be?
That will be Divinity number 2, award-winning Divinity number 2, and then a new book we're calling Steam Patriots number 1, issue number 1. If you are Steam Patriots, it's basically the American Revolution steampunk.
Nice.
So cool. Yeah. So and it looks really good. So I'm excited about that. And the writers have been they're up north somewhere, somewhere around all where some of that American Revolution stuff happened, and they've talked to a lot of the military parks and stuff up there like that, historical locations, and they're going to set them. I'm not doing any of this. But they've got some little tour in the making, and
cool.
When the book comes out, so it's very cool. Excited about it.
Sounds awesome. Daphne, how can folks find you?
You can find me at my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my social media. I mostly hang out on Facebook, where you can see me post up a lot of work in progress work and sketches and whatnot. If that's what you want to see. If you just want to see me act up, you can go to Twitter, but I prefer being on Facebook. You can also check out Ego Raven, Air of the First Unicorn, the first 5 issues of that for free, or you can join me on Monday when I launch the Kickstarter for issues 1 and issue 2 of Ego Raven on Kickstarter. So you can join me there. You can also see a link to Tall Tales. Go to talltalesonline.com, TIILS, where we're in the final couple of days of the Tall Tales Kickstarter for the first Thieves Quest volume, which collects the first 5 issues of the series from the very beginning. And I also have a link, if you're not into zucchini farming, I also have a link to the infamous House of Bob furry porn collection on Fur Affinity, uncensored, but you just have to register and be an actual adult for it. So there you go. So all my links at my website at egoworks.com.
It's egoworks.com.
Yes,
What government
EGOWORKS.
do you have to register on for that?
Fur Affinity. For Affinity to get access to my House of Bob collection.
Roll it.
Yeah, I heard you.
Varian, how can folks find you?
It's pretty easy. KYD_V on Twitter, and then Varian Grant on Facebook. Check out Liberty Entertainment Distribution Group, ledg.us, to get your independent comic in stores, and lastcallcomics.com, my company where I make comic books and all that stuff, publish them, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I keep it pretty low key online this week.
ledg.us.
Yeah.
How can folks find you?
It's repeating.
What's repeating?
Now someone has a playback going.
Yeah,
Somebody had playback working.
Yeah, I keep it very low key online. I'm tired of the attention.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. We're all busy. Anything else?
Where can people find you, Randy?
Yeah, I'm good.
Hey, folks, you can find me at Randy Zimmerman on Facebook, Randy Zimm on the Twitter. I'm not over there very often, but when I am, it says Randy Zimm. You can find the Arrow Comics 4.0 page on Facebook, Arrow Comics 4.0. Also over on YouTube, all of our videos go up there. I will have some new content up there shortly because we have so much great stuff to show you. Arrow Comics will be coming back in August, but right now over on Indiegogo is the Indie Revolt book, short story collection. Lots of phenomenal black and white short stories over there. 130 pages so far, another 20 backers, and we will be 140 pages thick. The next retailer that adds or gets the retailer tier over at the Indiegogo site, and that's 6 copies of the book, 3 of each cover set for $75. The next retailer, actual retailer over there, I am going to be mailing the first 2 months worth of Arrow Comics to your shop for free, 2 copies of each title for you to enjoy and look over at your perusal, absolutely free on me. We're just grateful that you're out there, and we're grateful that you're buying that retailer pack. The book itself will be carrying a $19.99 price tag on it, and we would love to see it on your shelf. Other than that, in August, we'll be kicking out HeroBot #1. That'll be a lot of fun. 3-foot-tall giant robot with a bad attitude that fights giant monsters. Indie Revolt will also have a floppy, 32-page floppy available. That'll have at least 2 stories in there that won't be in the Revolt book. Also, Only Death Can Save Us #1 will be available in August, as well as Luke Stone's Hybrids, The Sons of Gods, which is a great superhero book, all available in August from Arrow Comics. And you'll catch Varian and myself on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m., along with whoever else that we can get to talk with us on the Livewire program here on Indie Volt Radio on YouTube and Facebook. On Wednesday, there is the Geekgasm that Daphne co-hosts along with the Indie Princess at 9 p.m. on Wednesdays. On Thursday morning, we have the Breakfast Buzz at 9 a.m. Varian, myself, and Daphne are on. And then we'll be back again on Sunday morning for more Sunday Funnies. I didn't get a chance to ask everybody what their favorite funny book was, but maybe we'll actually get around to talking about fun, funny books on our next show. So I really wanted to make a point to make this show a little bit more lighter and whimsical. So sorry, today it's conversation wandered through all sorts of topics.
We weren't really supposed to talk about zucchini farming.
No, we weren't. Not, or the bug or even cons or anything. But the conversation on this show wanders like crazy anyway, and that's part of the fun of the program. Roland, Mark, Russ, thanks so much for being a part of the show today. Deeply appreciate you.
Thank you for asking.
You all have open invitations to come back whenever you can on any of our programs, I'm sure. So
thank you.
Especially if you have something to promote.
And not for nothing though, it's like I wouldn't trade 2020 being normal if it meant I never got to meet you guys ever.
Oh,
yeah.
You know, so
I eventually met again at a show
you,
anyway.
Scott.
So,
you know,
yeah.
for real.
Exactly. I agree with
I
Mark.
feel you, Mark.
Big hugs, everybody. Big
That's
hugs.
All right.
Someday we'll all have a big convention and we'll all get together, and it's Sunday morning will be terrible because we'll all be hungover again. Going out the same way we came in, folks. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next Sunday at 9 a.m. For the Sunday Funnies. Deeply appreciate you all. And take care.
Any
last words? We'll see you soon. Stay healthy, everyone.
Indie comics, especially ours.
Make sure, like Varian has said in the past, make sure you leave this industry better than when you found it.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
That's very important. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
you've accomplished.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
Do you draw the Flintstones naked?